Good morning. Welcome to Morning Love, your daily dose of love, hope, and encouragement from here at Buckwheat Farms Magic Emporium and Ballroom. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I sure did. A lot of things got done here around the farm. It's interesting. Last Wednesday, after Wednesday's episode, in my news feed, I got this really great article from SciTech Daily, and I'll put a link in the comments below. But basically, the gist of the article is that according to quantum theory, an electron may present in several places simultaneously. And actually, what occurs is observing is what brings it to reality, basically. An example of this, of it happening in the natural world is, imagine you have a cat and your cat is simultaneously on the sofa and eating food from its dish. It is in both places at one time. But when you put your focus on the cat on the sofa, the cat in the at the dish disappears, and vice versa. When you put your focus on the cat eating, the cat on the sofa disappears. And so it is with the electrons. And so we think, well, that doesn't really happen to us, but our observing is actually magic, because when we don't observe an object, in actuality, it is smeared all over the universe. It is just a scattering of information. It is our observation that brings that information together and assembles it. Now, I don't want to get too deep into this because you can read the article and it's really cool stuff. But our intent is what creates this observation. That's what I want to talk about today, is our intent. And my intent specifically. I set about with an intent that I wanted to see, when I was writing down my desire is for a voluntary society where people interact voluntarily, where sustainable permaculture is the means of production, a totally egalitarian society, a utopia, yes, that I wanted to create. And so I set about with that as my intent. And I know I'm not the only one, obviously, because this is a kind of a common mindset within the voluntarist field. It's a common mindset within many in the esoteric field as well, and the crossover to many in the permaculture fields. But what's interesting is that as I've gone about seeing how we initiate this thing, all of a sudden I'm seeing initiations of it have sprung up all over the place. First, there was my hookup with Stephanie and the Grove, and that communication there brought about other communications that opened other doors. It's encouraging. They're starting something there. We're starting something here, and then all of a sudden, another one pops up. I hear about the Solar Punk Festival, April 15th through 19th. Then Yaakov Aglamaz from Hadama in Israel contacts me, and we're going to be working together. And then now I find out about another community in Virginia called the Acorn Community Farm, and it's again an egalitarian farm. And so all these things are happening. And my point in this is, were they happening before I began to observe them? Well, yes and no, because others were observing them, of course. But before I observed them, none of them came into being in my life. And that is the point of all this, because all this stuff was just a lead up. This is great. This is the gist of it. Our intent, our observation, our looking upon something is the secret to all magic, that we will have whatever, we will manifest whatever our focus is upon, because it already exists. We think that our focus, and we think of magic, of using our will to create our reality, is about making something from nothing, and that is as far as we know, with the laws of physics, an impossibility. What we're talking about is our intent, our focus assimilates the already innumerable bits and pieces of information in the universe, and formulates it into a reality. That is the secret of creation. Part of that, of course, is the relinquishing of the need, because need puts some kind of strange demand on it. Need comes from that negative energy standpoint, where as we put it into a desire, and that may be why some people have such success with sex magic, because it is a positive experience that they associate with their intent. And so here's the secret to creation. Again, it all exists. Everything that you can imagine, as soon as you imagine it, it exists. And it exists in an IKEA box, basically. And our intent, our mindset, our single-minded focus begins to draw those pieces together, opens up the instruction manual, and tells us how to assemble it. Today, go and create the world you desire, because the world I desired is suddenly magically appearing. We put a lot more effort into doing when we should be just being. Namaste.